Although unassuming in design, the Toshiba Satellite C55-A series laptop computer is one of the most well-rounded consumer products that we've tested in recent history. It runs on Windows 8 as the OS, but it has a whopping 8 gigabytes of DDR3 memory, which you can use to customize the product with, and it also has 500 gigabytes of hard drive storage, in addition to a Intel Core i3 chipset powering the product CPU. Hey guys, here at osmvtxtrees.com. You're watching a video review of the Satellite C5A, which I think is, again, a pretty good deal for the money, especially because the laptop itself only retails for about $300, but again, you do have a lot of RAM, you do have a lot of memory, and the size of this thing coming in at 15.3 inches is right on the money as far as kind of the average size for computers and laptops these days. Taking a closer look at the design, again, the product itself is pretty unassuming. It is a traditional laptop in the sense it has access to DVD drives, CD-ROMs, and stuff like that. The front of the device is dominated by a piece of black plastic, but it has an interesting groove to it. A little bit difficult to capture on camera, but it has this nice, interesting design, which is a little bit better than just a plain plastic finish. The laptop itself weighs in about at 4 pounds, which is actually pretty lightweight, and it offers the device a lot of portability, so it's easy to carry around with you if you are traveling. Battery life is pretty good on this laptop. It lasted us about 5 to 6 hours before we had to recharge it, depending on the mode that we were in. In eco mode, it certainly did last us through a few movies before we had to recharge it. The left-hand device features the lock port, the standard Toshiba power port, you have a one USB 2.0 port, and the aforementioned DVD-ROM drive. The right-hand side of the product features access to one USB 3.0 port, a 3.5mm headphone jack and a microphone port, one USB 2.0 port, one HDMI port, one Ethernet port, and one VGA port. And essentially that's it. It's a pretty well-rounded product. The front of the device also has access to a SD card reader. Although the card does protrude out of the unit a little bit when it is inserted, it still is pretty easy to read files on the product, which we are excited of. As far as boot performance is considered, the C55A is actually pretty speedy. Lifting up the lid after the product is in hibernation mode offers you the ability to boot into the OS virtually in a few seconds notice. So it's a very speedy user interface overall. So if you're looking for something that's going to be fast and responsive, it's a great product to have for that purpose. The screen utilized by Toshiba is very bright, spacious, and comfortable to see. It offers very good viewing angles, and it's bright enough to even be viewable under direct sunlight, which we are fans of. Again, it's a traditional 15.6-inch display with a front-facing HD camera on the top and also dual microphones for noise cancellation, which makes the product also ideal for video chatting applications like Skype, and it can even work in low-light situations as well. So if you're in the dark, the webcam still is able to capture pretty high-resolution images, which we are excited about. Taking a look at the UI, it's pretty standard. This isn't a touchscreen computer, hence the lower price tag, but it offers, again, very formidable performance with an Intel Core i3 processor and most notably 8 gigabytes of RAM, which is, again, pretty impressive. Now, the RAM part is configurable by the user, so depending on what model of the product you get, it will differ. The lowest model in the series offers 2 gigabytes of RAM, but again, the higher one is the 8 gigabyte model that we have here. And as you can expect with the highest configuration here, the product runs extremely smoothly. Running through tasks and multitasking is a very fluid and a very lucid experience, and you won't find any stuttering or slowdowns, even if you have multiple applications open. So we found that overall, in terms of web browsing experience, watching streaming video content from YouTube and Hulu Plus, the product worked without a hitch-up. Even for playing back online games and gaming, we found that the product was also pretty smooth and responsive. Of course, if you have a lot of multitasking apps open in addition to playing back games, it's going to get a little bit slower. It's also going to drain your battery a little bit faster, but overall, it's pretty formidable for the most part. To give you an example, we could go to a complex site like the New York Times. We found that the Wi-Fi card on the product is pretty strong in the sense that we could be, a nice distance away from the router, a few meters, and then the product would still work pretty well. All Flash content loads up pretty well, and of course it comes with Internet Explorer as the pre-installed web browsing client, but you can install other web browsers like Chrome or Safari or the likings of Firefox if you are into that. The bottom here features the actual design of the base that we also are fans of. Unlike a lot of other Toshiba Satellite laptops, it actually has a kind of unique design which we haven't seen before. The hinge is a pretty simple two-style hinge with one hinge on either side for support and durability, but the interesting thing here is the power on and off port is located right on top right-hand corner. It illuminates actually a nice yellowish white color when the product is turned on. It's very tactile and easy to press as well, which we are fans of, and we like the indicator style light that's going on there as well. The front device also has a stereo speaker for playing back music. Now, unfortunately, the weakest point of this laptop is going to be that speaker. If you plan on listening to a lot of music, perhaps watching YouTube videos with the built-in speaker, though it is loud, it's extremely tinny. So if you're playing back music, it's not going to be the greatest experience. Higher notes and lower notes are going to sound distorted compared to similarly priced laptops by HP or by Gateway. Otherwise, the actual computer experience, as far as the QWERTY keyboard is considered, is quite large, spacious, and comfortable to type on. Buttons are well spaced, and they have a very nice tactile spring to them. The spacebar is on the smaller side of the spectrum, but with a little bit of acclimation, we found that we could type very fast and with very few errors on this keyboard. Again, a very good job by Toshiba overall. The right-hand side is also dedicated to a special numeric D-pad, which makes this great for productivity as well. So if you are using Excel or PowerPoint, or you're editing a lot of numerical digits and numbers, it offers a really quick way to do some calculations and the such. As with all Toshiba laptops reviewed in the past in the Satellite lineup, the product also features LED lights for the number lock and also the caps lock keys, so it's very easy to see even in darker environments. The trackpad of the actual laptop itself is on the smaller side of the spectrum. We have to say that it's not the greatest trackpad in the world just because it isn't the largest, but it does have a very good definition to it. It's kind of coarse but also pretty smooth, so it doesn't accumulate a lot of grit. It doesn't get very greasy very easily, so as you start using this, it's very responsive and you don't have to clean it all that much, which we are fans of. The product also supports multi-touch, so you can zoom in and out of web pages by using pinch to zoom gestures. The ClickPad is also one of Toshiba's better ones. As opposed to older Toshiba laptops with a kind of bubbly round texture for the ClickPads, we have two dedicated flat keypads which are very easy to press, very evenly spaced, and very responsive. Overall, we really like the step up that Toshiba has taken with the clickers. It's a lot better than the previous generation models, and for that reason we are fans of it. Again, YouTube videos and video content in general plays back very, very well. Just like taking a quick look at a page just from the New York Times, you can see how changing it from the full screen settings, it's pretty fast. And again, the quality of the screen is really great for watching videos and content overall. So overall, this is a pretty good laptop. I would say some other things to take note of would be the fact that it has a little bit of a louder fan speed than perhaps users are used to, especially with some other Core i3 chipsets that we've reviewed in the past. It's definitely a little bit noisier in terms of it's going to have a little bit more of a fan speed going on in the distance, but it's not anything too notable, and you can get used to it over time, I think. Toshiba has installed some of its own applications, like on other PCs, and those correspond to the Kira, Netflix, and Norton Security for 1 year. It has some quick launch applications to Skype, Vimeo, Amazon, eBay, and also a interesting dual view application, which allows you to actually mirror content from a PC onto an HD television, which is also pretty cool, and it's also a wireless experience. Unfortunately, Microsoft Office is not a built-in application, so you have to install that or use a trial version. So it's not going to be the greatest laptop out of the box for students necessarily, but it's a very, again, well-rounded one that includes almost everything else right out of the box. Something that I will say about Windows 8 as an operating system is that it doesn't have a native media center for playing back DVD videos. So if you're using the DVD drive on the side here and you're playing back a movie and you put a DVD inside, it's not going to automatically start playing. Instead, you have to download one from the marketplace or the store in order to start using that experience, which is a little bit interesting. It's kind of the same thing going on with most other Windows 8 laptops as well, not just for this particular product, but it's a little bit of a nuisance compared with previous generation computers like Windows 7 and Windows Vista, that basically recognized and started playing a DVD movie without you having to install another application just to do that. Still, again, it's a very well-rounded product, extremely fast speeds, very impressive in terms of performance, very well-rounded. The price of under $300 is just right. It has a webcam, it has a great kind of discreet look to it. It's not too flashy, but it seems like it's a pretty durable design, has a nice weight to it, and overall it's just very, very well-rounded, extremely solid attempt, and easily one of the best, I think, Toshiba Satellite lineup of laptops that you can purchase for a more budget-oriented price tag. So a very good job by Toshiba overall, and at OS and VTXreviews.com, our editors would definitely recommend this laptop. This is a Toshiba Satellite C55-A series here at OS, VTXreviews.com. Thanks for watching our full video review, and also our brother site at OS Tech News.